Did the Nine clone Earth? Today we have further lore and secrets to dig through from the Edge of Fate teaser, hinting at some of these possibilities. Pre-order bonuses alluding to an altering of time, a Golden Age spaceship connected to the Nine, and much more. Welcome Guardians, let's dive right in. So today we have some more fun theories and news to share. The reveal stream for Edge of Fate is just around the corner, but the teaser has spun a lot of theories in the community. Let's first start with some of the pre-order items for the expansion, which are already in the game files added in Heresy. From what we can see so far, it looks like it'll be a ghost and an emblem, things they've done before. The ghost is called the anisotropic shell, and says, for ghosts who peer outwards with insatiable curiosity. The definition of anisotropic is of an object or substance, having a physical property that has a different value when measured in different directions. A simple example is wood, which is stronger along the grain than across it. The emblem has the same icon we've seen in concept art, the sort of U-shape facing both directions up and down. And the graphics are also reflected, the same thing depicted on each side in a different fashion. We can also see what looks to be a planet in the center. These are the same icons we've seen in original Frontiers concept art. So we'll likely get news about these and probably be able to pre-order Edge of Fate when that reveal stream happens or just after it. But some of these items may hint at some of the story elements which we'll talk about in a bit. Let's now talk about Cocytus or Cocytus. I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. Many people believe this is the satellite or ship we've seen in the teaser trailer. Here's some information from the lore about that ship and a character who had interactions with 9 creatures from it. Lavinia swears and beats her suited fist against her helmet. She's trapped in Cocytus. The last time the Awoken trapped anyone here, those poor souls went utterly insane. The doomed crew of the dead orbit scout ship Sophia called this place A113. An innocent catalog number. They had no idea the gates aboard, once a Golden Age experiment, had been captured by the hive deity Crota. Those gates consumed them all. Portal 3 emitted a living organism. Death was immediate. Autopsy team reports a spherical body, radius 1.1 meters, surfaced in hydrocarbon tar. Deep, evenly spaced throats converge in a central cavity, perhaps intended to serve as lung and stomach. The body consists of an undifferentiated tissue of primitive cells. A basic spasm reflex forces air down the throats. Without enzymes to catalyze metabolism, the organism could not survive. Cell death occurred instantaneously throughout the mass. There were no provisions for self-repair or reproduction. Lavinia reads this again, horrified and fascinated. Something on the far side of the gate is learning to assemble atoms, molecules, even haphazard life. Something from a world of darkness and dust, probing its way into our structured existence, trying to cobble together a message, an emissary. A body. The 9 are on the far side of this gate. She's sure of it. She's found them. The overwhelming impression I have is one of learning, of increasing sophistication in the synthesis and arrangement of matter. The atoms in these structures were isotopically pure and impossible to date, but I have the uncomfortable sense that even they were freshly made. Probes and instruments dispatched to the third gate do not return. Annihilation is apparently immediate, and so total that it seems to result from a fundamental failure of the ability to exist, rather than any weapon or countermeasure. Yet something does exist on the far side, and it is trying to learn the rules of our world from the very first principles. I do not eagerly anticipate its next creation. So Lavinia went to this station. Aboard, she learned that Crota once held these gates, and that members of the dead orbit ship Sophia also ventured here once too. They went through the gates and were all consumed. Are they the people we see in the Frontiers concept art? She believes the Nine were also trying to make physical bodies after gaining access of these gates and portals, but they failed. They were kind of close though. So is what we see in this teaser Cocytus itself, A113? Me personally, it's kind of hard to tell from this scale. At first, it kind of looked like a giant satellite of sorts. But then again, A113 or this ship wasn't very big either. And it would make sense given connection to the Nine. It was originally stationed in the reef around Ceres, but the Awoken moved it. The quote said, "The station remains in stable heliocentric orbit, where it was parked after the destruction of Ceres." So it no longer orbits Ceres because it's gone. It orbits the sun directly, and seems to imply it was moved far away from the reef. Lore-wise, it would be an interesting connection because it involves the Nine. But then the question would be, why? As the lore said, they failed to experiment here, and seemed from Lavinia's perspective to stop at some point. So it would make it seem like there was nothing left for them, unless it was a success in the long run. Whatever this thing is, it's important and likely kickstarts our journey to the new planet. Wouldn't it be cool if the first mission took place on the ship itself and then we went through those gates? Now, it also isn't hard to figure out that there's some weird funky time shenanigans going on here. I randomly threw out time travel when speaking during the teaser, but many comments also mentioned time dilation instead. Time dilation is the concept where time doesn't tick at the same rate for everyone. For example, if you move super fast, your time will move slower compared to someone who is standing still. For example, if someone was standing on Earth and then someone else was zooming through light speed on a spaceship, the person standing on Earth may experience 20 years passing, while the spaceship human could only experience maybe 2. I don't know the specific numbers, but you get the concept and difference of time. Time dilation is basically time travel into the future and exists in real life. But Destiny is not real life, so all kinds of crazy sci-fi stuff can happen. Something could trigger us to enter warp speed and travel out to this new planet, or fracture time in some way to reach it entirely. Remember that the new preorder ghost is called the anisotropic shell, which means something behaves differently depending on the direction you look at it. Is this hinting at time dilation changes too? The emblem also reflecting the same thing in different ways. With all of this knowledge, why is this planet important? We get a hint at the end of the trailer that it could be in the Kepler system, which is known in real life for possibly having a habitable Earth-like planet. But why this one in particular? So far away from where the Nine reside in their gravity wells in our solar system. To me, that's the biggest question. And why does it also have features that resemble things here on Earth? Both geographic and from concept, literally human marine vessels. Something cool to note is that Kepler does appear in the lore at least once. A search on Ishtar will bring you to the Exodus Down armor sets, which come from Nessus. The Exodus Black, the ship crashed on Nessus' surface, was actually on course to go to the Kepler system, but crashed here instead. Adjust course 2 degrees. It's a long way to Kepler 186, folks. We don't have time to tour Nessus, Captain Jacobson. So some of the Exodus ships were confirmed to be heading out to Kepler, at least the Exodus Black, so there could have been more too. Kind of interesting that we had ties to this location if that's where we're going, all the way back in the base game of Destiny 2. The 9 are connected to the life here in Sol, Earth 2. So maybe some of that life has an imprint on the new planet, creating matter from what the 9 know. Someone pointed out in my previous video that the 2 main planets we see in the teaser could be different. This is the new destination we think, the Guardian flying the ship to it. And at the end where the 9 logo appears, is this actually Earth? Bungie has done this sort of thing in teaser trailers before, switching up the way we see clips different to the way we experience it in-game. One of you mentioned seeing the Great Lakes at the top right. I had a hard time trying to point that out. But if this is Earth, it seems to be engulfed by the 9, and in the last couple of frames pops out of existence. I could just be making up what I see here, but that's kind of what it seems like. Did the 9 kind of clone their own version of Earth? But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Some more theories and speculation from the Edge of Fate teaser. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.